Welcome everyone to Rhodian Radio. I'm your host Chase. I'm here with my good friend Danny, and tonight we have a very special guest, Rei. How do you pronounce your last name? Is it Kennex?
Kennex.
Kennex. If you follow her on Instagram, you know who she is. But if you don't know who she is probably the best cosplayer for Star Wars I've ever seen in my life. She is very talented. She has her own fan films that she does. Fulcrum is on YouTube. Um, we actually watched it. Danny just got through watching it a few minutes ago. I watched it as soon as I heard about it, and I thought it was amazing. So, without further ado, let's get in here, and you can tell us a little bit about your fan film.
Well, thank you for such introduction. I really appreciate it. And thanks for watching the film too, because that was definitely a lot of work. It was a fruit of love and passion. And I don't know what you want to know about it, because there's so much to tell.
Well, how long did it take you guys to film it?
It took us about 7 days total. So we were filming over
7
weekends.
days. Wow.
Yeah, because there's so many locations and they're so far apart from each other. So we basically had to go to a different spot every time for a new scene. And that's
Wow.
why we had to do it on the weekend where everyone was available. Yeah,
Well,
that's why it took so
I
much
just
time.
love how you guys were able to just bring in all these characters for one film. You know, you had the Mandalorians, you had Captain Rex. I think you even had Kenobi at one point, which was just,
Hmm.
it's everything I've ever wanted in Star Wars, just brought into a fan film. So great job! I loved it. It was awesome.
Thank you. That's how we wanted it. We wanted to make a concept for what kind of a movie we would want to see about Ahsoka and what kind of characters we would want to introduce and the storyline. So Fulcrum was a very logical, I guess, idea
Yeah,
how Ahsoka becomes who she becomes and who she meets along the way and the rebellion that she starts to help. Of course, Obi-Wan had to be there, Mando. So yeah, it was like a fan service to ourselves, but I guess a lot of
yeah.
people liked it because a lot of fans think alike.
Well, I consider it part of my canon because I loved it that much. So
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I
yeah,
think
you're
what I
welcome.
found very interesting about the short film was that the cinematography was absolutely stunning. Like you went from like filming on like beachside, and then you start going more into like the desert area, and it was mostly filmed in, or it was all filmed in California, right? Like SoCal
Mhm.
area. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because I was like, hey, I kind of know those areas around there. I was like, that's really cool. I like this cinematography. It was very beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, this time we also invested into some better gear, better lenses, because I wanted that big epic look. So, you know, how you adjust what you use for the look you want.
Yeah.
So this time, the budget was a little bigger and I was
Uh-huh.
able to do more. And that's why I guess it just turned out so beautifully.
Uh-huh.
We tried being creative with our locations, even though it was still in Southern California, but thankfully it has enough variety of spots
Yeah,
so we could get
definitely.
away with it.
Yeah, there's definitely one. Was the desert scene filmed like towards like San Diego? Is
No,
it
it
that
was the other way around. It
was
was
the other
in
way? Oh,
Mojave Desert.
Mojave. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, because like San Diego's has something similar to that. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
See, I live in the South. I live in Alabama, and Danny lives in California. So I'm not
Okay.
familiar with any of these places. So it's more Star Wars to me than actual real life. So I have the advantage. So, but one thing I did love is I love the look of the Mandalorians in the film. They looked very Mandalorian, but it was so simple at the same time. So do you guys have like your own costume designer, or do you guys just come up with it on your own?
No, it was actually friends who already had their costumes.
Fellow
So
cosplayers.
yeah, of course. So if you have so much talent, you gotta use it. Of course, they don't just make it to wear. They also like an opportunity to actually be the character and act as the character. So we were super lucky that yeah, everything aligned, and we were able to film that. Because there's John who played the main Mando Brack. He's my good friend. So hopefully you'll see him again. And the other three
Wow.
Mandos are also amazing. They're from San Diego, by the way,
Okay.
but we were able to get together and film this little piece. And of course, I want to do more, but yeah, Mandos are my love.
Yeah. We love Mandalorians here.
We do.
The actor who played Captain Rex, I thought he was a great choice. I would definitely allow him to play Captain Rex if I had to say so.
Yeah, he's great. He's also a fellow cosplayer, and he has an amazing Captain Rex, older Rex, and he's just such a cool guy. Also, that we had so much fun filming everything.
I think he's the only person I've ever seen cosplay as a Rebels Captain Rex. So it was nice to see that version of Rex, other than what we're used to in the
Yeah.
films. But I guess we'll take turns here. Danny will go and then I'll go. So
Yeah.
we don't get jumbled up.
I think what I like most, because I was looking through your Instagram, and you have a lot of things going on. You have like your music, you have like your side business on Etsy, like all like the pins and stuff. I thought this was really cool. Like, how do you like find time to like manage all that? Because it's like really hard to like do like films and then like do cosplays and like just like the balance of it. So how did you balance everything?
Come on, dude. She's Ahsoka. She can do anything.
That is
I don't
true.
sleep.
No
It is.
sleep.
Well, thankfully, I work in creative field, so it's
Mhm.
not like I have a full-time job each day, every day, and
Yeah.
I'm on my own schedule. So whenever something comes, like an opportunity to film something, I film. Whenever I have some free time, I would design pins or do something like that, and then my acting or music work comes. So basically, it's some events in my life that
Yeah.
are scheduled, like the shoots, like work stuff, right, that I
Mhm.
cannot move, and then everything around it in my own free time, I fill it up with whatever I feel like sometimes, or have an idea for a pin, we'll do the pin, and then if I have an idea for a film, let's film something. And then if I have a free evening, I would call one of my photographer friends and say, hey, you want to
Mhm.
shoot something, and I get a new costume or something like that. So it's basically a lot of it is winging it. And honestly, I have to make myself rest. That's my like a New Year's resolution for this year, I guess, because if I don't rest enough, I don't recharge, and I lose the creative energy
Yeah.
and just don't feel like doing
Know
anything.
what you
So
mean.
yes,
Know
you
what
gotta
you
rest
mean.
and recharge into something else. And yeah, so it's definitely a process. You gotta be very organized. I'm not. I'm super disorganized. So I waste
I
a
know
lot of
what you
time
mean.
procrastinating. I don't even know how I do everything I do, because I probably could do much more if I were organized, but then I would
Mhm.
have no sleep at all. So
Yeah, me and Danny both, we're toy photographers, and that we were
Ah.
literally just talking before you got on about how much of a hassle it is to take all the
Yeah.
equipment outside, and we're just sometimes to the point where I don't feel like doing this because we got to take so much stuff. So we
Mhm.
know what you mean about
Yeah.
struggling. So, but what is your favorite cosplay that you've done?
You can guess.
Oh, obviously.
He's like, I mean, we got it on right now, man.
You
Yeah.
got it on. Yeah, of course. It's
I
Ahsoka.
It's probably my favorite that I've seen you do, but every one of them that you do, it's like you take that character and you study it and you absorb it. And it's like you become that character yourself, because each one that you do just looks so fantastic.
Yeah, like I think that's really interesting because like you
Thank you.
can look like Ahsoka, but you actually become Ahsoka. Like even with the voice, like I think that's
The
there's a
voice.
lot of strategy to it. Like I noticed that in the film, I was like, what type of voice she had, and the voice that came to me was like towards like the Rebels, where she's like more older than she was in season
Mm-hmm.
7. So I was like, that's the voice. I was like, she nailed it. I was like, that
Yay.
was really good.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Well, for me, cosplay is its own thing. Like I always say, cosplay is so diverse. Everyone can do it for their own reasons. Some people like to just make things. Some people like to build armor. Some
Mhm.
people like sewing, whatever. Some people like makeup or transforming. For me, it's about becoming the character. It's my favorite part about cosplays, that I can, like you said, I can be that character. That's why I pick my characters very carefully. Maybe I have less of them, but each one of them means something to me and I can relate to them. It's like picking a role, because I love acting. It's what I do. And
Mhm.
for me, each character is a role. It's not just the outfit.
Mhm.
So that's why I study it. That's why I notice little things about those characters. If there's not enough information about them, I will just imagine it in my head. Like for Ahsoka in that period between season 7 and Rebels, we don't know what she's like. We've never seen her. So I would have to think about it and okay, well, you know, she's still not in kind of not fulcrum yet, full on. She still has a little bit of snips in her. How would that show? How would that manifest in this conversation? You know, so it's very interesting to me. I like to get like, into little details about it. And Ahsoka is that character that I guess comes most naturally to me. That's why she's my favorite. And the voice and all of that, I'm somehow lucky to be able to do that. I don't know how, but yeah, so definitely, yeah, her.
What is so you also do your own music. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because I actually didn't know that you did music until Danny told me like an hour ago. So.
Yeah, I should see. I'm so bad at advertising everything I do. I lose all my energy just creating stuff, and then it's like gone.
Yeah, all I see on your Instagram is your cat, Cassian, and Ahsoka.
Oh my goodness. Yes, Cassian is I think people are just following me for Cassian at this point. But yes, and music, well, I started with music actually when I decided to do creative stuff full time. It was the music first. So after that, I moved to LA and I got into filmmaking, acting, and kind of moved away a little bit from that. But I always loved music, especially soundtrack music. I write, I sing. So I still do it every now and then. I should do it more. I was just more focused on the film stuff. But yeah, I was recording a bunch. I have 2 albums out. I have some music videos, and hopefully soon I'll release another one. Actually, two music videos, 2 new songs. And since we're talking about music and soundtracks, so the next Star Wars short that we're almost done with, it's in post-production right now. There is an original score for that. And Dan, who's the composer, I worked with him very closely on the score, even though he's composing everything, but I had a chance to be like the music supervisor, sort of.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I was able to work with him to work on each scene, on each character, on each beat, and that was so cool. Like I learned so much stuff because I never did a score like that. Never worked on scoring a film, and it turned out magnificent. I just can't wait for everyone to hear it. It's a short film, but the music, this 5 minutes, is just insanely good. So,
well, you know what I've noticed is some of these fan films that are, 13, 15, even, 5-minute films, they're so well written and just greatly executed till they overshadow the movies in some senses. Like I know, for example, your Fulcrum completely overshadows anything in Rebels to me. And it's not even that long, but it's so great. Like I could rewatch it every day and just find something new in it that just really pushes the buttons of my childhood and Star Wars.
oh. Well, I don't know. It's a big thing to say it overshadows Rebels, but I guess we just.
I'm a huge fan of Rebels, trust me. But it's all the same. It's all the same to me. It's all just overwhelming. It's just great. I just love Star Wars. That's one reason why I started this.
I guess it just comes. I think it just comes from the heart, and fans who are talented and they want to tell those stories. They not only take what was already there, but they also add some more things, and they're good. There are a lot of talented people out there who are talented writers, actors, and whatever you say. I mean, you name it. But that's why some of those films are so good. It's as good as anything that is out there.
Yeah, you can tell when somebody actually puts their heart into something that they're passionate about because it shows. And but that's one reason why I started this talk show a while ago, is to talk to people who actually share the same passion and don't get to voice their voice and opinions about Star Wars on a regular basis. And so when I found you, I told Danny, I was like, we gotta have her on here because we not have the live action Ahsoka and not have her on her show. So, but I do have one question for you. Since you say you like soundtracks and that's what you like to produce, if you got a call or an email from Dave Filoni tomorrow that said, "Hey, We need somebody to compose the soundtrack for the Ahsoka series. Are you interested? How would you react to that?
It's probably have a heart attack. Well, I would be down to do anything Ahsoka related, especially if it was official, of course. I would write her. I'm like, well, if I get to play a flashback, then I'll write the
Yeah, that'd be
music.
awesome. The first
Yeah.
thing
That
I'd
would be
ask
cool.
is, how did Dave Filoni get my email?
It's out there on my Instagram for everyone to use.
Dude,
Fair
I
enough.
feel like when those moments happen, sometimes when you get a phone call, you know how like when you get those random phone calls and you hang up because you're like, oh, it's just a scam
Yeah.
number. But when you hear the voicemail, it's like, I gotta call this person back like right now. Like I just think that would be like the situation in that case. But like next question I have is so since you have a personal connection with Ahsoka, like why did you like choose her? Like how can you relate to the character in a way? Because like you pull it off pretty naturally when you do it in your photos and in the film as well.
Well, I guess partly it's a coincidence because you know how you watch a character progress if it's a
Mhm.
show or a film, but especially with Ahsoka since we can see so much of her life on
Yeah.
screen. In the beginning, I didn't connect to her as well. So it was only after she left the Jedi Order and
Mhm.
then into Rebels that's when I really felt like, oh, okay, I can totally relate to her because it's on so many levels. I don't even know. First of all, her life stages, things that she had to do throughout her life, in many ways coincide with my life, what I had to do as well. Like
Mhm.
leaving something you spent your whole life in behind because you felt it's not where you belong anymore, and leaving people you care about the most to find your own way on your own in a new world, find a new purpose. That's exactly what I did. And that was, I guess, the starting point when I'm like, oh my goodness. And then her becoming Fulcrum, it's almost like I could see myself in the future. So in a way, not only did Ahsoka do something that I did in the past for in real life, but she's also an inspiration in where I want to go as a person, to be that figure that brings the light that Ahsoka is, right? She's inspirational, she's a leader, she's wise, she's someone who is so strong and who people can look up to, like Ezra, like Sabine, like
Mhm.
everyone. So to me, it's like past, present, and future all in one. So it's on so many metaphorical, like meta
Yeah.
levels, metaphysical levels, and in terms of her personality too, I feel like she's been so spunky and snippy and
Mhm.
fun. And when we see her in the end of Rebels, it's a little bit different Ahsoka. It's still her inside, but she becomes this very graceful, elegant, almost regal,
Like more
mythical
mature. Like
persona. Yeah, she gains this air almost like a cereal, like elves, Lord of the Rings.
yeah,
She becomes
like
almost
wise.
like a
Gandalf.
legendary
Mhm.
status, yeah, that she gains. And as the people, we also mature, we calm down, we gain this air of knowledge. And I think I see myself going into that direction, becoming more grounded. And she is such an inspiration. So, as for the voice and everything, I guess it's just a coincidence that
Mhm.
my physicality can do that.
Yeah.
And it naturally it just comes to me. I don't know. I'm very thankful that my favorite character has some similar characteristics to me, so I can do that. Like if let's say there was somebody else probably none would not happen. I would just love them and admire them from afar. But this time I get to put her on, or I don't know, pull her out. I don't know,
Yeah.
however you want to put it.
Mhm.
So it's an insane experience.
That's really cool. So like another question I have is that's because you basically described like yourself and Ahsoka and like you kind of like intertwine like they basically you guys are connected. So do you believe that she is the prime example of what a Jedi is supposed to be?
Well, it's hard to tell what a Jedi is supposed to be because she's a
Mhm.
very unconventional Jedi. If she were a Jedi, I think
Mhm.
everyone has their own idea of what a real Jedi should be. Like Qui-Gon has one idea, Obi-Wan has
Mhm.
another idea, Yoda has the third idea. So who
Yeah.
really is the real Jedi?
How many times have you heard me say Qui-Gon is the true
Come on.
Jedi?
Oh my
Yes,
God.
I think Qui-Gon and Ahsoka to me, she is above the Jedi, the Sith, and everything. She's
Mm.
becoming her own figure. So I wouldn't say she's the typical epitome of a Jedi.
Mm.
So
I think
Tim,
Qui-Gon is the true Jedi because he was always about for the living, and he was never politically influenced. Even Yoda was politically
Yeah.
influenced during the Clone Wars, but Qui-Gon always stayed true to his word. In the end, it got him killed, but it's Star Wars.
That's true.
yeah. Well, Ahsoka is a lot like Qui-Gon in a lot of ways,
Yes.
which is kind of cool. That's why we used his phrase in Fulcrum. That's why exactly why she quotes him.
Yes.
Because though she never met him, but it's the
Mm.
knowledge that passes on from him to Obi-Wan to Anakin to Ahsoka.
Mhm.
I've said on the show many times, Qui-Gon is the true definition of a Jedi. That's why I had to throw my arms in the air when you said that. I was like,
Yes, I agree.
I'd say he's like top 3 because like how I see the definition of a Jedi is like
Dark Jar Jar.
no, please no. Oh god. But like it's like balance, and like if you notice, like even characters like Obi-Wan, like who wasn't like turned to the dark side, but he was like a split hair away, because like when the princess or the queen of Mandalore died, like that was like
Satine.
his love, Satine, that was his lover, and like he's not supposed to have a lover or anything like that. So like he kind of like broken the Jedi rules. But when I see like Ahsoka and Qui-Gon, they're more like balanced characters, and like no matter what happens, they stay neutral, and that's how they mostly are. Their whole purpose is to bring balance. Like when it's shifted, they bring it back.
Doesn't
If that makes
Ahsoka
sense.
in the Clone Wars even say that we are keepers of the peace, not soldiers?
Mhm.
So that right there, I haven't heard any other Jedi say that I know of.
Oh.
So, but yes, I've always said Qui-Gon is probably the most true and genuine Jedi that we've seen in canon. I don't know about Legends, but in canon.
Mhm.
Hopefully he's in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Let's just hope he's in that.
Yes, I hope so. I will lose my mind. I said if I see Liam Neeson and Kenobi, my next door neighbors are gonna have to come check on me because they're gonna hear me screaming.
He's gonna text me like at 3 a.m. He's like, "Did you see it? Did you see it?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I saw it. I saw it." Like,
You're not getting a text message, man. You're getting a phone call.
phone call at 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
3 a.m. in the morning.
But no, I guess the next question I had is so out of Ahsoka, who is another Star Wars character that is inspiring to you?
Oh gosh, there's so many. Well, there's one, but I won't say who because it will be a spoiler for the next short film.
Oh no.
Because there is a character that there's not that much known about her, but if you really dig into lore, there's oh my goodness, there's just
Jaina Solo.
I'm not gonna say who that is, but it's insanity, and so I can't wait till the film's out so I could talk about it because it's just wow, I did not expect any of that. But anyway, so that character aside, every character is inspirational. I really love Jyn Erso. I really love Jyn. She's one of my favorites. I think it's just a great example of how just a person without any force powers or anything can make such a difference. It's the whole movie is about that, how little people can change the fate of the world, basically.
Yeah.
Jin is incredible. Who else? I'm thinking of someone who is like especially special. Not
Well, I feel
mentioning
like
Leia
in
Padmé.
Star Wars, there's a character for everybody to connect to.
Yes.
Whether it's a droid or a main character, there's somebody that everybody that can connect with. Like for example, my wife can connect with Jar Jar Binks.
You can or can't?
Can. Like that's her favorite Star Wars character.
I love
don't
Jar
know
Jar.
why. I don't know why,
Jar
but for me, I feel like the most inspirational Star Wars character for me is either Boba Fett or Darth Maul, because they came from basically being dragged around their whole life, had to be under somebody's foot their whole life, and then when they became independent, they really didn't know how to handle themselves, and their actions cost them their consequences. And so on and so on. But we know what happens to Darth Maul, but we're seeing Boba Fett unfold right now.
Mhm.
What do you think of the Book of Boba Fett? Have you been watching that?
Oh yeah. I have to name Hera too, because Hera is one of my
Yeah.
top favorites ever.
Yes.
So yes, of course I've been watching, staying up every day. I mean every day there's an episode. So I don't see any spoilers. I can see everything fresh.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been loving it. I did not expect anything at all. I had zero expectations because Boba Fett to me was this kind of neutral character. Didn't know much about him, like didn't care much. Okay, he's there. He's just Boba Fett.
Mhm.
But in The Mandalorian, I kind of was like, okay, there's something in there. And now with this show, I'm really loving him. So that's already a big sign to me. So it's not like 100% happy with absolutely everything, but little things, even if they're there, it doesn't matter. It's a great show. I love it. I love Boba Fett. I love Fennec. So I'm enjoying it immensely.
Yes. Yeah. I remember. I think it was the first time I ever saw Boba Fett, or when I was really young, and I'm like, man, that guy looks so cool, but he's not doing nothing. He's just standing there. And then we get to the Mandalorian, and I will never forget my reaction I had. I seen chapter, I think it was 14, the tragedy, when Boba Fett comes back. Like that episode, it just it's like my inner child just came alive and was just screaming with excitement. And then you get to Luke Skywalker, and I cried seeing him. It was so great.
Yeah, it is true. I think
They killed you.
he told me.
Yeah, like I was rewatching it the other day, and I texted Danny, and I'm like, Danny, I cried, man. It was so great. It's
I
one of the
remember
best
watching
things.
that. Oh no, what were you saying? Like that?
I was just saying it's one of the best scenes in Star Wars. It's so emotional, and there's a reason that you cry for something, and it's because you're so attached to these characters that you grew up with.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember watching that. I think what I didn't expect Luke Skywalker when I saw it when I think they were like, oh great, there's a X-wing, like just one, and I was like, I instantly knew it was Luke because I'm like nobody else
Mhm.
has his X,
I'll
and
be
I see
honest, I
this
actually thought it was Trapper Wolf, Dave
Trapper
Filoni. I actually did.
because they
I'm glad
released
it
the film.
wasn't. I'm glad it wasn't, but I wouldn't have been
Yeah,
disappointed if it was Dave Filoni either.
yeah, but when I
Driving
saw,
shotgun with Plo Koon, he's got the wolf pack in there with him.
my goodness, but like when I saw that they added Luke from there on, I had like a whole flashback because when I watched Mando, I didn't have any expectation because I saw it as a slow western. And like it had a lot, how I felt was that a lot of people watched in the beginning because it was, I guess, like Star Wars first live action show like that, and like people like kind of like dropped off because it was too slow. It's more of a western, but I understood like
Mhm.
Dave Filoni because what he like I was telling Chase earlier, like Dave Filoni is a fourth quarter type of guy. Like he likes to like be like take his time, like 75% of the film or show, and then the last 25% is what you're gonna remember for like the rest of your life. Like so he
Yeah.
has there's like a another funny thing I told Chase was that like it's like in his hat he has like secret little notes. I'm pretty sure like one thing like he pulls out of his hat, it's a little note that says Luke Skywalker, and that was probably the idea of how it happened.
Yep.
I feel like Dave Filoni, if you're the guy, say, for example, you're at a gas station, and you want to buy a soda or a candy bar, and it rings up to, we'll say, 2.18, and all you got's $2. The guy behind you that gives you that 18 cents, that's Dave Filoni.
That's Dave Filoni.
That's Dave Filoni. You'll never forget the guy who paid the 18 cents. But so we're about at the halfway mark here, and I just got a notification from my timer here. So we when we have a guest, we ask them a list of questions, kind of pick your brain as what Star Wars means to you as a fan. One of them was, who is your favorite Star Wars character? And I'm pretty sure that's really obvious. That's Ahsoka. No, it's not Ahsoka.
No, everyone thinks it's Ahsoka. She's not. She's my second. My favorite is Anakin.
Anakin, okay, because there's no Ahsoka without Anakin. Ooh,
Well, at some point there is, but there's
yeah,
not
true.
really. But yeah, Anakin's my favorite. He was my favorite from the very first Star Wars movie that I watched, so he is still my favorite. So I'll probably cry a lot in Kenobi.
He's confirmed to be in the Ahsoka series.
Yes, I don't know what they're doing with that though.
Well, my expectations of that is they're gonna have flashbacks of Clone Wars, Anakin and Ahsoka. But
Maybe,
the only
or
but the only
might
thing
be
is,
worse
you know, they're
also.
gonna have to find somebody else to play a younger Ahsoka because Rosaria Dawson, she's just great. She's amazing as Ahsoka, and I love her as Ahsoka. But she's more the older Ahsoka. I don't see her as the younger Ahsoka. So who knows? You may be getting a phone call.
I don't know. I don't look like her as much, so it'll be very different Ahsoka. But well, if not, I will have to make my own version or something. I don't know.
You
Pull
never
some
know.
strings.
Do it.
You never know
No.
if you need help getting through Lucasfilm's door. Tell them that you know two guys right here that'll vouch for you. So
Yeah, and we can write the script in 1 week.
Everything can be done.
Yeah, in 1 week.
But just give me Hayden and I will shoot everything myself. You don't have to do anything.
There we go.
yeah, there you
We're
go.
like, we don't need Hollywood. We got this. We can do it ourselves.
We already are in Hollywood. We're just,
Yeah, I'll even fly to California and me and Danny can meet up and shoot it on
There
our
you go.
iPhones.
Straight up, it's just like short, small budget film, but I promise it's good. Like, not good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all right. We have Aiden Christensen. All right. So our second question that we ask is, who is your least favorite Star Wars character? Like you just hate them. You can't stand to see them. If they died, you wouldn't be upset.
That's a good question. You know what? Probably my least favorite character is that droid from Solo, Lando's droid.
L3.
Yes, she was
Yes.
annoying. Yeah, so like if she's gone, I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking.
I love the film, but if you're talking about least favorite character, yeah, she was probably that.
I can see your point. I totally agree. All right. So our third question is, what got you into Star Wars? Like, what was that moment that just clicked your spark for the flame that ignites the rebellion? However, Poe says that for Star Wars.
Well, it's just the films themselves. There's nothing in particular. I remember my best friend and I went to watch episode 2 together in the cinema, and that's when I really loved it. But first, for a while, I just kind of liked it, and I was not like super huge fan. I was doing other things, but then I watched The Force Awakens, and it reignited it, I guess, reignited the passion on a new level. So I not only wanted to see it, I wanted to make something. So that's how I started cosplaying and then got more and more into it.
You know, I've actually told Danny that I've been thinking about making my own Boba Fett suit.
You should. It's
And a
fun.
Greedo. And a Greedo.
That was the one. I could totally see him in a Greedo suit. Like he's like the guy at Comic-Con in the suit. He's like all sweaty and everything.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd be passing out my Roading radio cards to everybody dressed as Greedo.
There we go. It makes sense.
So,
It's so much fun. You should totally do it. Like I said, tell everyone you should definitely try at least one costume.
I have done the only Star Wars cosplay I think that I've done. I know I've done a Kylo Ren and I've done a Death Trooper from Rogue One. And I actually had the microphone system under my helmet and I had a pack on my belt and I'd make the sound effects that they make. So
That's
cool. And I made like their blaster out of Nerf guns. So I just took a bunch of Nerf guns and put them together and make a big blaster out of it. It's fun. Cosplaying is fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so our last question is, if you could make one Star Wars character from your own design, who would it be and why?
Like make, you mean as in a costume or just
like original creation?
Just from scratch.
From scratch, I would probably make, would be either a Twi'lek or a Togruta.
Oh.
Someone who's like not in the dark but not in the light, somebody in between.
Mm-hmm.
Who would be dangerous but really good inside. I don't know, something like that. But definitely one of those species.
See that. I can see that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, not necessarily force sensitive probably force sensitive, but not necessarily. And they would probably be from Coruscant,
Mm.
because I love
Coruscant.
Coruscant. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always loved Coruscant. I just love the concept of it. But one planet that I would love to see Boba Fett visit would be Earth, so he could go to the Polynesian spa.
He would love it. He needs
I
it.
hope that's how the show ends. I hope we see Boba Fett
The
just
Polynesian
relaxing in
Polynesian
his
spa.
That show would be a 10 out of 10 for me because so far
Yes.
I'm like mixed feelings. Like I like it, but there's some things that are like they could like I'm just waiting for Dave Filoni's hit because the way how Boba Fett was introduced in The Mandalorian, it was very aggressive. Like he was a grumpy old man who had no time to waste. And like in this like season, he's more patient, he's more wise because he's like a ruler now. So I understand that more, but I'm like, where can we see like the ruthlessness?
Just wait, man. The Dave
I know,
Filoni
I know.
episode's gonna get everybody.
That's the one I'm waiting for.
And I'm hearing that that's gonna be episode 6. So not next one, but the one after. So
Yeah.
episode 6, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a tear jerker, man. It's gonna be crazy. You're gonna be screaming. My neighbors will be hearing me scream. So I literally told Danny I'm gonna set my phone up to record my reaction for these next 3 episodes because I know I'm gonna want to. I really regret not recording myself with the Mandalorian season 2 finale because that's a once in a lifetime experience that I had and I'll never be able to get it back. So it's all up here, and so I don't want to miss another opportunity like that. So
And do
I
it.
love seeing people's reactions to big moments like that. So I'm telling you, the Dave Filoni episode, it's going to have a lot of Clone Wars flashbacks. I fully expect to see a young Boba Fett from the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
So, but I don't know if they'll still do flashbacks because I feel like they're kind of done with them after this last episode. But who
We'll
knows?
see.
Who knows? Well, I've had a blast talking to you, and I'm sure Danny has.
Yeah,
We've been talking about this for weeks. We're like, hey, we gotta get this
know.
episode out, man. We gotta
I
go.
know.
But
That's really
we
cool,
really
though.
appreciate it. We're big fans of your work. Anything that you put out, I'll check out. Like that day because I remember like the first time I seen the trailer for your fan film, I'm like, no, I gotta go watch this. This is right up my alley.
Well, thank you. I hope you watch the next one. Maybe you'll record a reaction to that one.
Oop.
Ooh, I didn't
Maybe
think about that. Yeah, maybe.
we need to have you back for that one because like it's
When
just
it's
like
out.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, maybe you can give us an all exclusive spoiler. Jaina Solo is going to be in the next one. I'm calling it.
I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you who
I'm
that
calling
is.
it.
Because if Ahsoka's the second, I'm really curious on how this one's gonna turn out because the Fulcrum is really cool. Like everything was like well done. There was like a lot of heart and passion put into it,
Yes.
and like I'm gonna continue to support like your work because it's really good and like you can see it like expand. Like don't ever think like you can't do it because like you made it this far, like you might as well like go all
Yeah.
in. It's
Well,
like
yeah, well, Fulcrum was very epic. This next one is not a trailer format, it's actually a film. So it's a one consistent story. It's not as huge,
yeah.
but it's more interesting because there's, you get to spend time with the characters.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll see.
So I have one more question for you before we head out of here. So you like, I assume you like the Clone Troopers. Because
Oh yeah, I love Clone Troopers.
All right. So which is
I
your
Clone
favorite?
Troopers, they're my boys.
What's up?
Which is your
My
favorite?
favorite is, well, Clone Troopers.
Is who? I was gonna say Clone Division.
Oh, Division. Okay. Well, my favorite trooper, since I already started saying that, is Rex.
Mhm.
And I really love Hauser because Hauser is everyone's new favorite. And the Division, well, I obviously like 332nd.
That's my favorite.
But then there's another one that I cannot say because I'll spoil stuff again.
Oh.
I know.
Oh man.
I know, it's hard.
Come
Now
on, Chase.
I'm gonna have
what are you
to.
doing?
I'm gonna have to constantly keep a watch on your
So
phone.
it's about 3 weeks from now that it's
3
gonna be
weeks,
out,
okay.
hopefully, because it's almost done. But
Okay,
then
okay.
I can reveal everything because I was only able to show like a very neutral clone trooper that could belong anywhere. That's it.
Man, you heard it here first. We're seeing clone troopers.
You heard it first from Rodian Radio. Like one question
Wow.
I had, but the clone trooper specific. So you tell us who your favorite is. Who is your least favorite clone trooper?
I don't have a least favorite clone trooper.
Oh.
I like them
God.
all. I don't know. They're all cool.
I can't stand Dogma.
Dogma.
Dogma, man, he's such a snitch.
Yeah.
They'll play a role. I don't know. I just can't hate them. They're poor little things.
What
Yeah,
about
they're probably my favorite Star Wars characters.
they are. They all it's cool about this that it's the same voice actor, but he gives them all different personalities.
Mhm.
And that's
Yes.
like really impressive.
But I feel like D. Bradley Baker, he did an amazing job throughout the Clone Wars. But I felt like the Bad Batch is where he
Yep.
really gave the
Oh
clones
yeah. Oh yeah.
personalities.
He just talks to himself the entire time he
Yeah.
records.
I feel like I would go crazy doing that. I had a whole
Mhm.
show just talking to myself. That'd be great. But do you think Omega will ever make her live action debut?
Oh, that's a good one. What if she does? I think she might.
If we see it, I think it'll be somewhere within Kenobi or Ahsoka, depending on the timeline of the Clone Wars that they want to do.
Yeah. But it would be fun. I like when they do that, when they take animated characters and do cameos
Yeah.
in real
I think
life.
it's a long shot though before we ever see her in live action until we actually see what her story actually is. Because we
Yes.
don't even know her story right now.
Yeah, we don't know what happens. Maybe she dies or something. Dies young, and we never see her.
Maybe she does. But I think I would like to see Fennec, tell Boba a mention of, hey, I knew your sister. And he's
Way
like,
back then.
sister.
It's like a whole flashback scene after that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
would
because
be cool.
it's been a while since they met. Because it's like years before. She's
Yeah.
all grown up now if she's still alive.
I don't know, that Fennec Shan, she does not age.
That woman, I'm telling you, I don't know. I love Ming-Na Wen. She's incredible, but I don't know how she just looks like this. It's
looks
not
the
only does she look like
same.
that, she fights, she runs, she does most of her stunts herself. It's just insane, and she's such a cool person. She's a total nerd. Her whole Instagram. If this is like a good sign for me. If you go to a person's Instagram and see what they're doing, and that tells you how they treat the character that they play at the moment. Her whole Instagram is fan art. It's all Fennec Shand. It's her as Fennec Shand. Like, she's obsessed. It's so much fun. I love when people do that.
I've been watching a lot of stuff with Tim Morrison doing like interviews and stuff. And to me, he seems like he has no clue what Star Wars is. He's just there for the check.
He's just there.
He really is Boba Fett. He's just there for the paycheck. But he did a recent interview a few weeks ago or a few days ago, and he was asked something about filming, and he said they were talking about Jawas or Ewoks. It was Ewoks, and he said, "Yeah, that it was fun working with the Ewoks. They're a lot of fun to work with." And the internet took that by storm. And I think he meant to say Jawa.
Jawas,
But he
yeah.
said Ewok. That's why I said I think Tim Morrison doesn't know he's in Star Wars.
Maybe he just
But then again,
misspoke
he
or
does.
something.
But Ming-Na Wen, like she looks the same in everything she does. She never ages, and they do the same thing with Fennec Shan. Fennec Shan never ages. So
Fennec, yeah.
And
who knows? She may not even be human. She may be some sort of
she's already having all
shapeshifter.
her stomach.
I think what's really cool about her is that she was also the voice of Mulan. That's
Yes.
I was like, that voice sounds familiar. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
Mulan. I was like, okay. I was like, that's cool. They brought
And
her
Tim
in.
Morrison is actually Aquaman's father. So just think about that.
We have Aquaman's father and
Boba
Mulan.
Fett is Aquaman's father.
Plot twist.
Yeah, plot twist. Here we
love
go.
it.
Zack Snyder cut all over Disney Plus.
Can you imagine?
So, but we really appreciate you for being on the show. And I actually have something that I want to go get to show you that we want to send you, but it may take a while before it gets to you because we'll have to, have it produced and everything. But I'm gonna go get it while Danny does whatever Danny does.
No worries.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. It was fun to chat about everything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's really cool that we like have you on and I talk about Star Wars, and because I think it's a really big deal to us that we get other people's opinions on like how they feel about it. Because when you ask somebody how they feel about Star Wars, it's never gonna be the same exact opinion.
Mhm.
Like that's what I like about it, and it's like Chase and I, like we always have different opinions. Like when we were doing the Bad Batch, he was like, he was like, Omega's awesome, and I was like, I hate this kid.
Ah.
But then like she gained my respect in the last episodes when like they explained like she's like the older one, and then like all these other things. I was like, oh okay, I see how it is. But like for the longest time, I was making jokes like, man, when is Crosshair gonna take the shot? I was like, is he gonna do it? And like, did you think
Yeah.
Crosshair was gonna take the shot on Hauser? Because like he had him right there.
I did. I was so afraid because I really love Hauser and he's
Mm,
such a good, cool dude. I don't
mm,
know. And so when he was there on this platform or whatever he
yeah.
was in the balcony, and I was like, no, if they kill him, I'm not watching this anymore. I'm just not. And thank goodness.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
hopefully Danny didn't bore you too much.
Oh, come on.
No.
No, we pick at each other. We're brothers in real life, feels
Yep.
like anyways. So all right, so we actually have some merchandise of our own. And
Ooh.
since you are one of the biggest Star Wars fans we've ever talked to, and you love the clone troopers, we want to send you our custom wolf pack beanie.
That is awesome. I love the wolf pack.
And we also
And I love
want to send
beanies.
you our matching hoodies.
Oh, that is insanely cool, dudes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
thank you so
that's
much.
the back, and on each sleeve you have the logo.
I love that.
And
I
then
love
on the front it says Rodian Radio.
I love it. Thank you so much.
So
No
we
problem.
it may take a month or so before we can actually get these made and sent out to you, but we definitely want to send you some of these because you were
It's all
such
right.
a great guest.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love it. I'm gonna wear the heck out of it. I love it.
And I'll get your information and stuff,
Okay.
over email or whatnot. But we really appreciate you on our show.
Yep.
Man, I'm excited for your next.
Yeah, dude, I'm actually pumped. I'm like
Yeah,
clones. I was
now
like,
that
it's
they're
It's
already
like I
clones.
good.
cannot tell you anything.
Yeah,
Cannot tell you.
I know. Oh, three. You said 3 weeks though for that one, right?
About that, you will see. Hopefully, it'll
3
be done by
weeks,
then.
man. That's going to be a crazy week. We're going to have the Book of Boba finale, and then we're going to get your film out.
And maybe a Kenobi trailer, maybe because it's rumors coming soon.
Maybe.
So many good
You know,
Star
Bad
Wars.
Batch season 2 was rumored for spring.
Mhm.
So who knows?
So many
I don't think they'll do it that soon, but you never know. I think Andor is supposed to take place this fall. So fun fact though, I was actually going to say something and I forgot about it. Did you know that Ming-Na Wen and Dave Filoni actually went to the same high school?
No,
No way.
Yeah, they know each other.
that's crazy.
It is crazy. Can you just imagine walking down the hallways? Can you imagine us, Danny, if we went to school there and we walk down the hallway and we see the class photo and it's Dave Filoni and Ming Na Wen?
Before he got the hat.
Yeah, before he got the
Crazy.
hat.
I swear it has like magical
Crazy.
powers. It's like the hat from like Harry Potter.
He
Mhm.
probably
Like,
got
it
it from
talks-
George Lucas.
Maybe, honestly.
George Lucas,
Yes.
cast a spell on it or whatever. He's like, I grant you the knowledge of Star Wars.
It has all the knowledge in the hat. He just whenever he needs ideas, just puts it on.
Yeah,
Just thinking
I'd
of-
love to have that hat. That'd be great. But all right, so I think that's all the time we got for tonight. We really appreciate you being on the show. We're glad everybody checked in and tuned us out. You can find us on our social medias on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. If we can get the 100 subscriber mark on our YouTube, we're giving away one of these hoodies to one of our listeners. You can check out our Instagram for more content. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. You can find me at Galactic Customs. You can find Danny at DCRZ Boys _ photos. And you can find our great guest at is it Rei Kennex? Is that what it is? Yeah. On Instagram. Check her out on YouTube. Go give her support, subscribe. And we really appreciate everyone checking us out. Until next time, Chase.
This is Danny.
Thanks.
Gotta say who you are.
It's Rei.
There you go. All right. So until next time, may the force be with you on Rhodian Radio. Hold on a second.
He's like